Jungkook and Yoon walk into the house. This is your room. Okay, Yoon nodded and opened the door. Her heart was beating faster. She was afraid, so afraid, that when he will know the reality, what will be his reaction. So she kept quiet for the whole time. Meanwhile, Jungkook watched her. She was not speaking much at the wedding, and she didn't even look at him now and went inside, but he shrugged it off, not like he wanted to talk to her. Yoon woke up from the alarm. She rubbed her eyes and went to the bathroom to freshen up. She looked in the mirror and her eyes are just like her mother. She loved them so much, but now she had to wear contact lenses. She took deep breath and wear them, and walked downstairs to make breakfast since she worked as a maid in her own house. Jungkook messily rubbed his hair and walked into the kitchen, but stopped when he saw Yoon standing there making breakfast. He furrowed his eyebrow. You know how to make breakfast? Yoon flinched and looked at Jungkook with wide eyes. You scared me. Not my intention though. Here, I made you breakfast. She served him the breakfast while Jungkook couldn't help but notice a change in her behavior. It had only been 3 months since they last met, but she seemed different somehow. He furrowed his eyebrow. What could have changed? I never thought you could make anything. Yoon looked down. Nina don't know how to cook, but she's trained to make everything perfect. Yoon stared at Jungkook as he was eating his breakfast silently. Jungkook looked up and her eyes met with Yoon, and she looked away embarrassingly on getting caught. Do you want to meet your dad? No, she blurted out immediately and then regretted. She don't want to go that house again. Jungkook narrowed his eyes and nodded. Okay. Yoon made coffee for Jungkook, thinking he might be tired. They don't talk with each other. She stayed in her room most of the time. She knocked on his door and he hummed. Jungkook looked at her to say he was surprised to see Nina was standing there with a cup of coffee. Coffee? For me? Yes, I thought he must be tired. You know, when Dad comes from his work, he always wants coffee. Oh, she was going to say when Nina comes back from modeling shoots, she always order for coffee. He takes a cup from her hand and sips on it. Thank you. Do you need anything? No, thanks. Did she hit her head somewhere? Yoon turned around and walked away to go back to her room. Nina. He called her, but she didn't turn around. He furrowed his eyebrows. Nina. Yoon flinched and turned around looking at him. Yes, Jungkook? My friends invite us to the party tomorrow, so be ready at 5 p.m. Okay. She walked away from there while Jungkook was having a mental battle. What happened to her? Yoon was feeling uncomfortable for several reasons. Firstly, she was not used to going to parties. In fact, she never go to one before, and that's her first party. And secondly, the dress she was wearing was very uncomfortable. All of Nina's clothes seems to be uncomfortable. She preferred to wear short dresses while Yoon preferred to wear clothes that fully covered her. Jungkook was talking to his friend when his eyes fell on her wife. He knew Nina wear all those short dresses, but he noticed she was continuously pulling her dress down, like she is not comfortable. As long as he know Nina loved to socialize and she don't look uncomfortable, just like she was on engagement party. Excuse me, I'll come back. He excused himself and walked towards her. You need a drink? Yoon looked at him and shook her head. Are you uncomfortable in this dress? He asked politely and Yoon nodded. I'm not used to wearing dresses like. Her eyes widened. Why does she always forget she is Nina, not Yoon? What? I am not feeling well. Can we go home? She said, changing the topic while Jungkook nodded and led her out of the party. What happened to you? Nothing, you. Did you fight with your wife? He teased him while Jungkook rolled his eyes. No. We left the party early. What happened to you? Young, you remember I told you when I got engaged that Nina is so self-obsessed? Yes. What happened? Is she annoying you? No, she's not. In fact, she's behaving strangely like she's not Nina. I know I met her only 3 times, but she always talk about her clothes, brand, money. But now she's acting so weird. What? Can you explain me a little bit? She made food for me. She even made coffee for me. And you know she was uncomfortable wearing those short dresses. Maybe she's changing herself for you. Maybe she loves you. That's not a drama. I don't believe in these things. You should be happy, man, that she's behaving nicely. Actually, that's what's bothering me. You are weird. If she is changing herself, then you should act nice too. Jungkook closed his eyes while thinking something is not right. Yoon was feeling a little fine. Even though she is not perfect like Nina, she is not confident. She is just doing her best. She don't know much about Jungkook classes. They don't talk much. because Jungkook is always out on business trips. Sometimes he just say 2 to 3 words, not much, and you don't talk too much. It's because she is afraid that she will say something that she is not supposed to. Jungkook came back from the office tiredly and lay down on the sofa. The food aroma reached his nose and he furrowed his eyebrows and opened his eyes when he heard Yoon's voice. He walked to the kitchen. He saw her humming to herself while a wide smile displayed on her face. And here you go. She happily finished the garnishing of her food and smiled proudly. But her smile faded away when her eyes locked with mine. I'm sorry, I didn't know you come back. I see you are enjoying cooking, he said. His eyes narrowed and Yoon smiled. Oh, she got excited when someone asked her about her interest. Yeah, I love it. You know, Maya taught me everything I can do She stopped herself as she remembered something. Nina don't even know how to cook. Jungkook walked towards her and she stepped back. Are you sure you love cooking? Because last time I heard you hated all the things except malls and money. Yoon heart beat fast as she looked down. He was questioning her as she don't even know how to answer. Or something changed in 3 months that you suddenly love to work as a housewife. You're not even going for your shoots. Does something change, Nina? Yoon shook her head and Jungkook sighed and stepped back from her. Eat your food before it gets cold, he said and was about to walk away when she stopped him. I actually made food for 2 people, she said, and Jungkook raised his eyebrow. Then he looked at the food. Yeah, he's hungry, so he's not going to reject the offer. The food looked mouth-watering. Okay. Jungkook was using his mobile when he was going to Nina's Instagram profile. He never visited her page, but now he just had to. He was scrolling through her page. He was scrolling through her pictures, but he was shocked that why would she be uncomfortable when she is wearing short dresses at the party. He came across a video and clicked on it. Oh, she's a great swimmer. Impressive. He put his mobile on the table and walked towards Yoon's room. He didn't saw her since morning. He lightly opened the door of her room without making noise, but stopped when he saw her reading a book. Her hair was covering her side profile and she is engrossed in the book. He leaned against the door watching her. She looked like the same girl he saw in Mr. Gang's house when he was returning her shoes. But it's Nina. What are you thinking, Jung? You said reading book is a waste of time, he said, and Yoon jumped up from the sofa, her heart beating faster as she hid the book behind her back. What? You forget our first meeting, Nina? You said I waste my time reading books. What else had Nina said to him? Jungkook walked towards her as he stood in front of her. What are you reading? Just random book, she was stuttering. The flashback of Nina mocking her for reading books and her father giving her disgusting glances. Jungkook took the book out of her hands, reading the title. First Love. She read this book almost 15 times already, but she loved to read it. She was ready to get mocked by him for choosing something like this. Do you like it? And you look at him surprised. He asked, and you look at him slightly surprised. Yes. Which author do you like the most? He asked, her eyes fixed on her, and Yoon's face lit up with excitement. And she was quick to answer. Haruki Murakami. His writing is so unique and captivating. I almost read all his books. Jungkook stared into her eyes deeply, and Yoon stopped. Oh shit, she forget Nina hate books. She was not supposed to say all this. I like his books too, he said with a straight face, and Yoon gulped. Did he notice what is going on in his head? Come with me. Jungkook grabbed her waist and take out of the room. Her heart was pounding in her chest to see his blank look. But he stopped suddenly in front of the pool. Yoon watched in surprise as he removed his shirt. She watched as Jungkook jumped inside the pool. He swam across the pool and stopped. The night sky was dark and the pool was shimmering in the moonlight. Come on, he said, gesturing her Yoon to join him. Let's go for a swim. Why now? Jungkook stared at her, sensing her hesitation. I came for a swim after reading a book. It gives me a new sensation. You should try it too. Yoon nodded, feeling a little more at ease. But then she remembered that Nina was a good swimmer, while she don't even know how to swim. She stepped in the pool. Jungkook was watching her closely as she could feel his eyes on her. She tried to act natural. Jungkook swam over to her and Yoon tried to stay calm. Come on, swim across the pool, Jungkook said, gesturing to the other side of the pool. Yoon felt a lump in her throat. She didn't know how to swim and she didn't want to give herself away, but she couldn't just stand there and do nothing. She took a deep breath and pushed off the wall, hoping that she could fake it well enough to get across the pool. Jungkook was just watching her. She looked good. Oh god, what the hell I was thinking. Of course she is a good swimmer. Hyung was right. She's just changing herself. His phone rang and he looked around. The phone was placed on the table. He stepped out of the swimming pool. Meanwhile, Yun was struggling too hard. She didn't get very far. After a few strokes, she started to panic. She couldn't reach the bottom of the pool and felt she was going to drown. Help! Voice was low, but Jungkook was on the other side of the glass, listening to his phone. Her eyes started to close and her head slowly fell forward towards the water. But suddenly she felt two strong arms wrap around her waist, pulling her into the surface. As Jungkook saw her struggling, he threw the mobile and jumped into the water, his heart pounding with fear. When he reached the edge of the pool, he pulled her out of the water and laid her on the ground. Nina! He pressed his hand on her chest, applying pressure on her. Yun finally gasped for air, began to cough up water. Jungkook let out a sigh and pulled her into a hug. Oh God, are you okay? Yun nodded weakly. He carried her carefully in her arms and take her to his room. Yun closed her eyes as he set her gently on the bed. He was cursing himself inside. He don't know how to swim. He bring the towel and dry her off with it. I'm so sorry. I don't know you can't swim, he said, feeling guilty for his actions. It's okay. Jungkook didn't say anything and dry her hair softly. But now there are some things he need to answer. But he loved the mystery too much. Now he will solve this by himself. Yun walked to the kitchen and the breakfast was ready for her. Her eyes widened. Who made it? She picked up the note and read it. I made breakfast for you. I know you are not feeling well, so enjoy. She smiled widely, but her smile dropped when she read the name, Nina. I hate this name, she hissed and looked at the breakfast and started eating it. Yun was getting ready. She looked at the dress she's going to wear. She just took a shower. After a long time, maybe after her birth, she is feeling happy. The scene where Jungkook saved her kept playing in her mind. She remembered his worried face. She remembered how he was drying her hair. She blushed slightly and wore the dress. She looked at herself in the mirror. The eyes that she admired the most always reminded her of her mother, Nina. Her eyes widened when she heard Jungkook's voice. Oh no, where is my lens? She looked at the lens holder and picked it up. She can hear the footstep closer. She put one lens in her eyes. When she was going to put another, she heard the door opening. Are you ready? Jungkook furrowed his eyebrow as he walked closer to her. Why are your eyes red? You know there's nothing more. Let me see, he said and held her face in her hand softly and leaned down before blowing in her ear. Yun froze in her place, her heart beating faster. Is it okay now? Yun came out of her trance and nodded as he smiled softly. Let's go. He was driving the car peacefully. He don't know what happened to him. The day when he saw her drowning and today when he held her. What's happening to him? His train of thoughts cut when his mobile rang. Hello, Mr. Ken. His expression changed and he looked at him. Okay, he hung up the call. Jungkook, why are we in front of the hospital? Nina, you need to see your dad. But why is he in hospital? Let's go inside first. But I don't wanna. Jungkook, can we go home back? She doesn't want to meet him, not again. We have to, Nina. Your dad had an accident. Maya? She hugged Maya as she saw her and Maya hugged her back. Yun, my dear. Maya, what happened to dad? He got in an accident. How? Is he okay now? He got into a car crash. They were doing the operation. Yun's heart dropped at her words. Is the operation still going on? But he is still unconscious. Can I see him? You want to? Yun nodded her and Maya took her to the room. Yun entered in the room and saw her dad laying on the bed, plaster on her legs. He almost looked lifeless. She took a deep breath and watched how softly he was breathing through the oxygen mask. Took her father care. She couldn't see him in pain, and no one was beside him except Maya. She took care of him day and night, but the doctor said the car accident left an impact on him. He can't walk anymore. The doctor said finally discharge him and went to the mansion. Yun didn't go there. Maybe she don't want to meet him, but he will still hate her. Let's go, he said as he stopped the car in front of the mansion. No, he wants to meet you, Nina, but I don't want to. I think he's better now. I can. It's okay if you don't. Jungkook said he can sense her hesitant. He don't know what happened and she don't want to meet her father, but he is not going to force her. But I need to meet Maya. He nodded and they both walked inside. Even though this mansion brings so bad memories, she went inside. Maya smiled and she saw Yun hugged her. How are you? I am fine. Is Dad okay? He is. He wants to meet you. Me? Yes, he was asking for you. Are you sure he was not asking for Nina? Maya shook her head. He especially asked for her. Why do he want to meet me? I don't know, but he was continuously just asking for you. Yun nodded. Why? Do you want to curse me again for his accident? She thought but went to her dad's room. Jungkook watched as she went away from there. Maya? Yes, son. I want to talk to you. Dad? She sat down on the chair beside the bed, looking at her dad. His legs still plastered, while the drips were around her bed. You came? Yes. I thought you won't come. I am Yun, she said, ignoring his question. Maybe he's mistaking her for Nina. Yun, I know. I wanted to meet you. Yun stared at him as he looked so weak. I'm sorry, daughter. Yun froze, tears welling in her eyes as she heard the word first time daughter from his mouth. I always hated you. I thought your mother died because of you. Yun kept quiet and looked away. But it was never your fault. Look at the daughter I love the most. She ran away without thinking about her father. I gave her all the love and she didn't care about me. I'm sorry I treated you so badly your whole life. I deserve all this. Yun had urge to cry right now. She's not really like them. She can't see someone cry. Don't say that, Dad. You still call me Dad after all the things I have done to you. I can't hate you. Mr. Kang broke into tears. He can't imagine he hated all of his life, and she was there for him all day and night taking care of him. Why couldn't he see all that? I'm sorry, I don't deserve your forgiveness. Your mother will never forgive me for how I treated you. Don't cry, Dad. Your condition will be worsened. Please forgive me. I forgive you, Dad. She said. Mr. Kang closed his eyes. He can't believe she forgave him easily. She is really an angel, just like her mother. And walked up to the rooftop, her footsteps echoing in the silence of night. As she stepped out in the open air, she looked at the dark sky above her. The stars were twinkling brightly, but all she could see was a tear streaming down her face. She had been through so much in her life, and she couldn't help but wonder if things were ever going to get better. The way her father treated her all life, that now he had apologized and asked for forgiveness, she don't know how to feel. Even after forgiving, will the scars ever heal? Are you okay? Yun looked at him and nodded, wiping her tears. I don't know how I'm feeling right now, she whispered, and Jungkook stared at her with soft eyes. Yun, She hummed and looked at him, but her heart dropped and her eyes widened when she realized. Jungkook, She tried to explain herself, but no words come out. Don't worry, I already know you are not Tina. I didn't mean to betray you. You know my father. I know, Maya told me everything. I'm sorry. She looked down, guilty for betraying Jungkook's trust. He must be feeling that she is manipulated. He will never trust her. But froze when Jungkook reached out and gently lifted her chin, making her look in her eyes. You don't have to apologize, he said firmly. I'm not upset with you. Still, I betrayed you. You didn't have any choice. Let's not talk about this. Yun stared at him. How easily I can forgive her. Afterward, she did. You know, Maya didn't tell me your name. You looked at him innocently. Then how do you know my name? Do you remember the engagement night we met on the rooftop? I had just guesses because your pendant is glowing. Oh, you remember? How can I forget? He said softly, and Yun closed her eyes on his warm touch. Let's get you home. It's already late. Yun nodded, and they both went to their house. Jungkook spoke with Maya, and she told him that Nina had a twin sister, which shocked him as he had never known about it before. Maya told him how her father had treated her, what happened, and Yun got married to him instead. This made Jungkook angry, and he couldn't believe someone would treat their daughter like the way he did. He was going to confront him. He was going to take her away, knowing why she was behaving strangely. Jungkook overheard the conversation between Yun and Mr. Kang, where Yun forgave him easily despite everything that had happened. His heart melted. He wanted to make everything right for her. Yun was making breakfast, her mind was somewhere else. She never expected the truth to come out like this. She thought he will hate her, but he didn't say anything. Yun, she went badly and the bowl shattered on the floor. Her heart started beating faster. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break it. It just slipped. I'm so sorry. She panicked badly and Jungkook's eyes widened. He reached towards her. Calm down, it's just a bowl. No, I know it's expensive. Mr. Kang and Nina always call her useless and she does anything. She remembered when she broke the bowl one time. You didn't get injured, right? He carefully picked her up and placed her on the counter. It's okay. He calmed her down and tears starting to form in her eyes. Why do you flinch at small things, Lee? Yun, I'm so sorry. I don't want to scare you. Yun stayed quiet. How does she tell him? It's not his fault. She's like this because of her sister and her father. Jungkook noticed Yun's silence and gently cupped her face with his hand, wiping away her tears. You can tell me anything, Yun. I want you to understand better and help you in any way I can. Yun took a deep breath, summoning the courage to speak. It's not your fault. They used to treat me badly and it's left me with some scars. I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve that, but please know that you're safe with me now. I will never hurt you. Yun stared into his eyes and he smiled lightly. Her heart skipped a beat and she nodded. Thank you. You are telling me that Yun is the twin sister of Nina? Yes, and her father forced her to marry me after Nina ran away. God damn, Jungkook, you get scammed by a whole girl. Seems like it, but it's not Yun's fault. I feel bad for her. They treated her so badly. And yet she is so kind-hearted that she forgave her father easily. That's something I'm surprised by. She is so different from her sister. Thank God you didn't get married to Nina or you will be mental like her. Jungkook chuckled. He knows Seokjin just want to make the mood light. I just want to take her all the pain away. She go through so much. So you finally fall in love? Jungkook smiled and closed his eyes. Maybe he did. Maybe he fell in love with her. Jungkook was walking back and forth in his room. He wanted to go to Yeon, wanted to tell her to shift back in his room, but he didn't have any courage to do so. So he just walked here and there. You can do it, Jungkook. He encouraged himself and walked out of his room. He took a deep breath as he stood in front of her room. What if she is sleeping? He thought, but slowly opened the door and peered inside. He followed his eyebrow when he saw Yeon not lying on the bed. He opened the door fully and saw Yeon standing in front of the mirror. Yeon, he said softly, but she didn't respond. Yeon was deep in thoughts, unaware of his presence. Jungkook walked towards her. He placed his hand on her shoulder and Yeon flinched. He froze when she turned around. Tears filled her eyes. Her nose was red from crying. What happened to you? I miss Mom. Jungkook's eyes softened and he pulled her in her embrace. She is in a good place, Yeon. He whispered and Yeon buried her face in his chest and cried. But if she hates me like they all do? No one hates you. She must be proud of you. Yeon looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. You think so? I know so, Yeon. You have a heart of gold. I won't be able to do the things you did. How you forgive your father shows how big of a heart you have. My side, I'm just like my mother in everything. Jungkook smiled as he held her more closely. You wanna see something? Jungkook nodded and Yeon broke the hug and walked to the dressing table. He stood behind her and watched her as she removed her lenses and turned around, revealing her natural eye color. Jungkook froze and his heart skipped a beat when he looked into her eyes. She had hazel eyes, which were a stunning blend of rich brown and vibrant green color. Her eyes held warmth and softness just like her nature. Your eyes, they are beautiful, Yeon. Yeon blushed and looked down while Jungkook was lost for words. He softly held her face in his hand and leaned down. Yeon closed her eyes as she felt his soft lips on her eyes. Her heart was beating so loudly that she knew he could hear it too. He placed soft kisses on both of her eyes and looked at her. Never hide those eyes ever again. Yeon felt tears welling in her eyes at his words and she hugged him tightly. This is the love she always wanted. She wanted someone to cherish her the whole love she never felt in her whole life. The love she thought is only in books, she is feeling it right now. Thank you. Jungkook smiled and kissed her ear softly. You deserve all the love and happiness. You know I'm the one who thought love is not my thing, but after you came into my life, I want to shower you with all love. Yeon stared at him. Her facial expression fell. But don't you love Nina? She was going to be I'm just a replacement. Nina is just a name. The girl I fall in love with is you, Yun. Yun blushed hardly and Jungkook chuckled. He kissed her forehead before connected his forehead with hers. Maya? Yun hugged her tightly. Maya smiled. She is seeing her smile after so many years. So you finally remember me? Don't say that. You know you are like my mother. I miss you always. And why don't you come to meet me? I want to, Maya, but I know you have other responsibilities like taking care of your husband. Yun blushed and hugged her again. Yun turned around at first when she saw who it was. Nina? Yun, you came? Yun looked at Maya and she looks away. Yun furrows her eyebrow, but the next moment her eyes widen when Nina falls on her knees in front of Yun. Nina, what are you? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Yun. Please forgive me. Yun was taken aback by Nina's sudden apology and her kneeling in front of her. She didn't know how to react, just stood there shocked. Why are you apologizing now? Why after so many years? I was so bad. I treated you so badly. I will always blame you for Mother Earth. She cried while looking down. I know what I had done was unforgivable. I was jealous. Jealous that you're perfect in everything you do. I'm sorry for everything. No, look away. The pain she caused her all those years. Will she able to forgive him? I know and I'm sorry. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I lost everything because of my selfishness. I lost everything. Dad is not forgiving me. He loved me and I hurt him so badly. The one I loved him for years ditched me on our wedding day. And I'm all alone. She cried, her sobs getting louder. Yun's eyes filled with tears and she looked away, trying not to look weak. She looked at Jungkook. He was standing beside her, comforting her with his presence. I can't pretend that what you did didn't hurt me deeply, but I also knew what it's like to be in pain and to feel like there's no way out. I caused you. The pain is unforgivable. I will try to be a better sister. Just give me a chance. You grab her hand and make her stand on her feet. If you are willing to make things better, then okay, I will give you a chance. Yun said and Nina looked up at her. Maya and Jungkook watched them in the silence, saying that their hearts swelled more with respect for Yun. Thank you, Yun. Maya is always right about you. You are an angel. Yun sighed. Her gaze went behind Nina and found her dad in a wheelchair, tears streaming down his face. Yun's heart ached and she looked away. Forgiveness may not erase the pain, but it can heal the wound and bring peace to the heart. You are the strongest girl I have ever seen, he whispered as he pulled her more closer to his chest and looked down. It's not about being strong, it's about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not easy, but it's necessary. If I don't forgive them, I will never be able to move forward. Jungkook held her more tighter, his hand rubbing circles on her back. I know it's not easy, but I am proud of you for forgiving me. It takes a lot of courage to do that. You leaned into him, feeling the warmth of his body. If you ever feel down, just remember I will be there for you. You always know how to make me feel better. Jungkook stared into her hazel eyes as he feels so blessed to have her.